Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, about 2 months or so, maybe a little bit more than 2 months. But there were a few reasons why it took me so long to make a new video. First of all, it's been a little bit kind of cold around here in Canada for a couple of weeks, and since I make my fountain pens in the garage, it's a little bit kind of cold. I don't really have a heating system inside the garage, and while sitting in there in cold for a couple of hours, it's a little bit, you feel it, let's put it that way. I do have a small heater, but I mean, it can't do really that much. Plus, the problem is if it's too cold outside, the material, the resin, becomes very brittle, so you really have to pay attention and takes way longer to cut the material. That doesn't mean that when I had a chance I didn't make any fountain pens. I actually did. So I'm gonna go through a few things today. So far I only made 2 fountain pens. I think I decided to actually call these the B6, this way I can clearly separate them from the other ones. And I only have made 2 of these, basically what I call them bloody kiwi, which it is one of my favorite materials. And next to these, I made 4 more of these, of the B8 versions of the fountain pen. And actually with these ones I tried to come up with something different. I wanted to see how will a matte version of the fountain pen will look like. So I decided to play around with it, and I actually really like the end result. I think I'm gonna play with it a little bit more, but I do like how they look like. I'll show you compared with the other ones that are more shiny how they look like. So I only made 4 of these and 2 of these, and I think the next 2 B6 I will also try and see them how they look on this matte color. However, the most exciting part that I've been doing, and I'm kind of pleased to show it because I like the end result, I made a new version. So basically I have a new, well, not really fountain pen, but more like a dip holder that comes with a cap. One thing that I always was surprised by the basically holders for the deep nibs is that they don't come with caps. Makes them transporting them a little bit more annoying. With a cap where you protect the nib and at the same time you don't stab yourself when you don't want to. So I was surprised by that, so I decided just to basically make my own deep nib holders and create a cap for them. And I gotta say, I actually really like the end result. They're very long. Now obviously this will not post because, well, these they do thin out as they grow, and I think the next version I might make them a little bit thinner, even though I don't want to make them too thin. I think it's trying to focus on the background. I don't want to make them too thin because then the material doesn't stand out as much, and as they are, they're actually pretty well balanced. I like them. I think I need to feature them in a video sometime in a close future. Currently I only have these 2, but I'm planning to make more as soon as the weather permits me. I actually want to do a couple of them matte version as well. So basically I still have a lot of blanks for my verdigris and my electric blue. So what I'm planning to do is do a couple of pen holders or nib holders for the newer version, and basically make them matte just to see how they look like, especially with this when you have a lot of material. And I'm also planning to do 2 more of the B6 just as, again, matte. I know not a lot of people like those, but they have their own, I guess, charm. And I wanted to provide a few versions for those as well. The other news is that I managed to finally buy some more resins, so within a month or two I'm gonna start having new colors. My plan is to make maybe 4 blanks for the B8 and maybe 6 for the B6 and maybe 2 more for each color setup for the deep for the pen holders. It depends now how popular they'll be and how many people will want to have. Currently I have only two more to come, and hopefully more in the future. Now zooming out a little bit more, basically I still have fundaments available if anybody is interested. These are the original ones. I mean, they're not really for sale unless you really want one. Like I said in the past, these are for fairly cheap. Well, relatively cheap. These are like the first versions that I had. These they go for like $100, including the nib if you want them. However, from here on, I have the electric blues. I have quite a few of them if anybody is interested. I think one of them might not post properly, but all of them post. I still have quite a few of the, well, Bloody Kiwi, including the new ones that I've done, and quite a few of them for the verdigris. And on the other side, I have 2 black ones, 1 blue one, 5 green ones, very similar, well, same one as I have made pen holders from. And then I have 3 B6, 2 red and 1 orange. And then I have the 4 B8, which, by the way, the person that I put this on a hold for, they never actually wanted it. They preferred the B6 version rather than the B8. So this one is the only one in this color that I have. Oops, let's not break it. That I have in this color. And yeah, these ones. Oh, speaking of, I guess I was planning to show you. Oh, with this one, funny thing, I didn't have enough material to finish it, but I had some material with red, and I decided to combine it. And I actually like this combo. I like the combination of red and orange and black. Anyway. Basically, that's the difference between the almost glass-like look and the matte look. And I have to be honest, I kind of like them both. I like the rustic feeling that he has, and it feels almost like satin in hand. I love it. This feels nice, a little bit more slippery, but not slippery that you'll drop it. You still have pretty good grip on it, but you do feel the smoothness on it. This one feels way more grippier. And again, has that specific matte look, which I do like. The material looks a little bit different. Anyway, I guess each to its own, as they say. But I, basically offer these versions as well in matte, if you're interested. So far I have nothing in B6, but hopefully next time I'm making a new video, I will have a new version. So I do have a few pens available if anybody is interested in the colors that I have present. If not, it will take me about a month and a bit to come up with a new color. Currently I'm still working slowly through these blanks that I have, which I have quite a few of them, and I'm gonna try and make more of these, so this way I have more available if anybody wants these. I have to admit though, I'm really excited about this. Right now what I have on them, they are Nico G nibs, unused. I don't really offer nibs because I don't have a lot of nibs, at least not deep pan nibs. And it's gonna be a while until I'm gonna be able to buy new nibs. And the reason for that is 12 days. This is my testing fountain pen. So basically, originally what I used to have were these Yovo nib in fine, these Yovo nibs in extra fine and flex. And for the B8, well, I only have one and I still have one. So I did have the converters for the B6, converters for the B8, which is the Jinhao. And then the Jinhao M, I have a few more on the way. Jinhao F. And Jinhao Extra Fine. But since last time, while I was showing my fountain pens, a few things have happened. I actually have more nibs to offer now. So I tested a few things. First of all, Osprey, which is a US company which make their nibs in, or at least their fountain pens in India, as far as I know. They have a few nice nib units. Now I haven't purchased a lot of nib units from them because unfortunately they're not that cheap, even if you buy them as a pen maker. But if you are interested and you look at what they have to offer, they have some very nice nibs to offer. And all these nibs are coming with a Yovo collar. So basically they fit in my fountain pens perfectly. This is another one of the nibs from Osprey. Very nice, very nice nib. I haven't tested them all, but just by playing with them, they feel very smooth, very nice. And whatever I tested, I actually do like. So I have a few from them, if anybody is interested. Same price, I'll keep everything at the same price if I can. Now another nibs or nib makers that I have, it's Cypress, from Cypress. Now apparently these have been actually very popular, especially with pen makers, and a lot of people love these nibs. And in this one I have medium. I finally have medium nibs. And I have quite a few of them. So now if anybody wants medium nibs, I do have medium nibs in the form of Cypress. A lot of people love these nibs. The reason why I actually went for them, I tested one and I like it myself as well. Very beautiful and smooth nibs. High quality. They come with their own feed type and their own nib design. However, they're all fitting inside a Yovo collar, which fits perfectly in my fountain pens. Or any other fountain pens that use Yovo nib units. And obviously I also have a few fine nibs, if anybody is interested. The design is exactly the same. Let me remove one. I don't have as many as I have medium because, well, I have a lot of fine and extra fine nibs, either from Yovo or another company that I'll show soon. But again, beautiful nibs if anybody is interested, and if they're popular and people want, I'll buy more in the future. And yes, I have a few extra fines as well. Actually, very few of them, maybe like 10 of them if anybody is interested. However, this takes me to the other nibs that I have, which I invested quite a lot in them as well. So I got in touch with Kenwright manufacturer, and I managed to purchase a lot of nibs from them. I have quite a few of them, and a lot of them are black because I like black nibs and they look very well with my fountain pens, and I even have broad nibs. Basically, this is like the UltraFlex version on black. The other thing that I have from them is their architect nibs. I don't know how well you can see it from the picture, but this is a medium architect nib from Kenwright. And for those of you that really like broad nibs, this is a double broad nib. I have about 5 of them. I also have just a broad nib, just DB, regular BB, not double broad. So yeah, like I said, I have quite a few of them. Extra fine, UltraFlex black, broad regular black, double broad regular black, medium architect, broad UltraFlex black, and fine UltraFlex black. And that's not all. More. In here I have a medium stub. They look something like this, and again they are a stub. And just fine regular black nibs, which they look pretty much like this. And this is how they look on the fountain pen. And the last one, with still Kenwright, I basically have medium ultra fine black, medium regular black, and extra fine regular black. So a lot of nib choices, I would say. So pretty much what you need I might have. It might not be the brand you like, but unfortunately I can't carry all the brands. And it doesn't stop there. Basically I also have custom China nibs, mix sizes, mostly architect. So basically I managed to find colors, and on those colors I basically pair them with my own feeds and my own nibs. I have a few titanium nibs from Kenwright, about 3 of them. I have some architect nibs from Kaijalu. I have a few more on the way. I should receive them in a week or 2. And I mean, I can pretty much make my own nib units, all fitting Yovo nibs. I also managed to buy these things, which are very interesting. These are basically architect nibs. You most probably have seen them on AliExpress. It's more like a broad architect or something like that. Beautiful nibs, actually. So I have about 6 of these. And if they're popular, I can always get more and make more. And these are the colors that I have, and well, the extra feeds that I have. And I can pair them with pretty much any nibs that I might have. So yeah, this for me was a huge investment. this year it's a couple of $100. This pretty much was my budget for this year for buying fountain pens. So unfortunately, until the end of the year, you'll most probably not see new fountain pens in my reviews, because this is what I spend it on. I spend it on nibs. And with that said, that's pretty much it, basically. Just a couple of new fountain pens that I built, well, new old. 2B6, 4B8 in satin matte look. Two new pens, which they're more like holders for deep nibs. I call these, I guess, keeping the same theme as the other ones, I'm gonna call them B deep. They're very similar with the original holders that I've used as inspiration, and I try basically to use the same shape and design from the B6 and B8. So this way they kind of match. If by any chance somebody wants to buy one of each as a pair, especially if they match in color. And I'm quite excited. I should be using these sometime soon. Maybe I'll do like a scribble session and I'll be using this. And well, more to come slowly. Hopefully the weather will get better so I can start making more of them rather than 2 or 3 per month whenever the weather allows me to. And with that said, I think this video has been long enough. If anybody is interested, again, I always have some pens available, so don't be afraid to get in touch with me at this email address if you want to reach me out. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked what you see. Hopefully the new nibs choices that I have are satisfactory. I know that might not be the brand that you might like, but at the same time, for me, it's very hard to own all the brands, basically. It's expensive. Even this, basically buying the Kenroyd nibs and the Cypress nibs and the Osprey nibs, that was quite a huge investment from me. And yeah, that's about it. My budget is blown for this year for new fountain pens, but I have a lot of nib options now, which hopefully will address some of the missing sizes that I used to have. I understand that I might not have the brand that you might like, but I can't own all of them. With that though, always keep in mind, as long as you replace the nib unit with a nib unit that it's Yovo compatible, you can replace any of the nibs that you get from me with what you want. Anywho, with that said, hopefully next video I might have a new color to show. It all depends on the weather, and hopefully I'll be able to come up with a new set of colors for you. And with that said, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time, and let me know what you think of the nibs that I have, and especially of this new pen that I made. I know you have to hold it to have an impression of it, but just based on what I see. Anyway, thanks. See you next time. Take care. Bye.